As Mu Chen's body surged into the dark gate, he could distinctly feel the surrounding darkness receding like a tide, and beyond the gate was an entirely different world. It was a realm bathed in a dark crimson hue, where both the earth and sky were painted in shades of deep red. The ground was riddled with countless gaping cracks, showing clear signs of past brutal battles. The moment Mu Chen entered this crimson world, his body immediately tensed. As purple gold light surged from his shoulders, the blood holes on his body rapidly healed. Thanks to his body, which was akin to that of a divine beast, these injuries posed no real threat to him. A vast and mighty spiritual energy rippled around him. His gaze scanned the surroundings cautiously, and just as he was about to move forward, his expression changed. He noticed that the space on his right was fluctuating, and in the next instant, a slender figure shot out from the twisted space, appearing right before him. The two of them stood face to face, eyes locked. Both were momentarily stunned, and then, their expressions shifted as they each took a few steps back. Mu Chen. The slender figure gasped in surprise, her delicate and beautiful face filled with shock. It was clear that seeing Mu Chen here left her deeply shaken. So it's Miss Zhan Tai, Mu Chen said with a wry smile, quickly regaining his composure after the initial shock. He looked at Zhan Tai Lu Li with a half-smile. Seeing Mu Chen smile, Zhan Tai Lu Li couldn't help but smile awkwardly. Her bright eyes flickered slightly, trying to hide her disbelief. She clearly hadn't expected that Mu Chen would break out of the Force Spirit battle formation at the same time as her. Then, passing the test, he had arrived here. Mu Chen actually defeated the Black Tortoise Battle Spirit with just 5 scattered armies? How did he manage that? Zhan Tai Lu Li's jade-like hand clenched tightly, her red lips biting down in frustration. It seems Miss Zhan Tai is quite surprised to see me here, Mu Chen said with a slight smile. He crossed his arms, looking at Zhan Tai Lu Li teasingly. It was clear that she had attempted to outwit them all earlier. If Mu Chen hadn't taken a risk and forced the power of 5 battle spirits together, he might not have been the first to break the formation. If Zhan Tai Lu Li had seized the initiative, they would have been taken advantage of by her. Mu King's strength is unparalleled, so it's no surprise he could break through the Black Tortoise battle formation, Zhan Tai Lu Li said, taking a couple of steps back with a forced smile. At this moment, her Liuli army had not yet arrived, so Zhan Tai Lu Li was only at the 4th grade supreme level. For Mu Chen, who had already defeated Fang Yi through his own strength, this level of power posed no threat. Without her Liuli army, Zhan Tai Lu Li had no means of contending with Mu Chen. After all, unlike Mu Chen, who was a freak of nature, she didn't have a terrifying battle-will talent, and her spiritual cultivation was no match for someone like Fang Yi either. Miss Zhan Tai is quite the schemer, Mu Chen remarked with a faint smile. Zhan Tai Lu Li could only smile wryly at this, not bothering to hide her intentions any longer. The Grand Hunting War is all about scheming and competition. I suppose our Divine Hall and the Great Luo Heaven Domain are rivals, so it's only natural that we would pull some tricks behind the scenes. Given Mu King's intellect, I doubt you truly believed in me, did you? Her frankness caught Mu Chen off guard. He narrowed his eyes and said, So, by your reasoning, if I were to do something to you now, you wouldn't have any objections? We are enemies after all. Even if you were to kill me here, it wouldn't be surprising, Zhan Tai Lu Li said calmly. Is that so? A cold gleam appeared in Mu Chen's eyes, and a faint killing intent flickered within. Zhan Tai Lu Li was indeed a formidable threat. Though she seemed vulnerable now, if she regained control of the Liuli army, even with the power of 5 armies, Mu Chen wasn't sure he could defeat her. Zhan Tai Lu Li lowered her beautiful eyes, her tone still calm. But compared to killing me, I think the Heavenly Formation Emperor's inheritance here is what you truly desire. For some reasons, I know more about the situation here than you. Cooperate? Now, you still expect me to trust you? Mu Chen sneered. And if I kill you, I suppose no one will be able to fight me for the inheritance of the Heavenly Formation Emperor, right? Zhan Tai Lu Li smiled lightly, her beautiful eyes regaining confidence. She raised her delicate face and looked at Mu Chen. From what I know, Mu King is a decisive person. If you really had murderous intent toward me, you would have acted long ago. Why bother with all this talk? Mu Chen narrowed his eyes, calmly gazing at Zhan Tai Lu Li. though a hint of surprise flashed in his heart. Her calmness and intelligence were somewhat beyond his expectations. Indeed, as she said, he was filled with caution and unease about this strange place. Although he had broken through the battle formation, he couldn't shake the feeling that it wasn't the most dangerous thing in the death ruins. Zhantai Luli seemed to know this place better than he did. She had some power and could be of help, which was why he hadn't resorted to drastic measures the moment he encountered her. If you want to cooperate, then show me something that earns my trust, Mu Chen said coldly, his gaze still locked on hers. Zhantai Luli lightly bit her red lips, hesitated for a moment, and then spoke. You're right. Breaking through the previous battle formation doesn't mean we'll easily obtain the inheritance. According to the information I have, this place might actually be the most dangerous part of the death ruins. Mu Chen's expression changed slightly, his brow furrowing. What do you mean? Because it wasn't just the four-spirit army that was invaded by the evil Qi, Zhantai Luli said with a serious face. Even the Heavenly Formation Emperor, during that great battle, was invaded by the extraterritorial evil clan's evil energy. So, the most dangerous thing here now is the Heavenly Formation Emperor, who's been possessed by that evil Qi. Her face turned solemn as she continued. The Heavenly Formation Emperor's body wasn't destroyed by the evil energy, so if I'm not wrong, he's probably waiting for us deep inside. Mu Chen's expression darkened. You mean, after we break through the battle formation, we've walked straight into a death trap? He sneered. If what Zhantai Luli said was true and the Heavenly Formation Emperor had been possessed by the evil Qi, losing his sanity, then they wouldn't be able to deal with him. Yet, despite knowing this information, Zhantai Luli still chose to enter. Did she have a death wish? I'm entering because there's an opportunity, Zhantai Luli replied, understanding his suspicion. When the Heavenly Formation Emperor was first invaded, he made preparations. He set up a battle formation that suppressed both himself and the evil spirit inside him deep within the death ruins. That's why the evil spirit couldn't use his body freely. As long as we can reach deep enough and activate the battle formation he left behind, we can suppress the evil spirit inside him and restore whatever consciousness the Heavenly Formation Emperor has left. Then, we can take the inheritance from him. Mu Chen's expression shifted as he listened to Zhantai Luli. He could sense that she wasn't lying this time, and her words seemed grounded in truth. Of course, Mu Chen wouldn't fully trust her just because of this. Over their interactions, he had come to understand that Zhantai Luli was as sly as a fox. How do we activate that battle formation? Mu Chen's eyes flashed, and he asked the most crucial question. I once came across an ancient text, and it was left behind by the Heavenly Formation Emperor. The method to activate the battle formation is in that text. So, only I can activate it, Zhantai Luli said flatly, without a hint of emotion. So, you mean, if I want the inheritance, I'll need your help? Mu Chen smiled. Exactly, Zhantai Luli nodded, unfazed by the coldness in his smile. Don't even think about asking me for the activation method. Even if you kill me, I won't tell you. Only by cooperating with me can we both win. Mu Chen narrowed his eyes, staring at Zhantai Luli. She met his gaze without flinching. They locked eyes for a moment, and finally, Mu Chen looked away, falling into a brief silence before nodding. Then, as you say, but let me make this clear. If I find you doing anything suspicious, I'll take your life immediately. Don't think your little strength can stand against me. By the end of the conversation, Mu Chen's voice was tinged with a sharp, killing intent. Zhantai Luli sensed the killing intent in Mu Chen's voice, but she was unafraid. Instead, she revealed a graceful smile and stretched out her fair, delicate hand towards him. Then, let's wish for a pleasant cooperation, she said. Mu Chen gave a faint smile and shook her hand. In that moment, their partnership was solidified once again, though the level of trust between them remained something only the two of them truly knew. The crimson-hued world was silent, devoid of any life or vitality, as if it were a dead land. The oppressive stillness seemed to have existed since time immemorial, persisting until now. Whoosh! In the dead silence of the realm, the sharp sound of rushing wind suddenly broke the quiet. Two streaks of light shot across the distant sky, moving so fast that in the blink of an eye, they vanished over the horizon. With the appearance of these two streaks of light, the dead silence of the world was finally broken. The oppressive atmosphere seemed to ripple slightly. These two streaks of light were, of course, Mu Chun and Zhan Tai Lu Li, who, after their previous conversation, had decided to temporarily cooperate. Given the strange nature of this land, both of them remained wary and cautious. If they could work together, their chances of success would undoubtedly increase. However, as they traveled, there wasn't much conversation between them. Mu Chun did not initiate any talk and instead lagged half a step behind Zhan Tai Lu Li, allowing her to lead the way. Despite their cooperation, his cautious nature kept him from fully trusting her. The two of them sped through the land in silence for almost 10 minutes. Gradually, Zhan Tai Lu Li's pace began to slow, and her beautiful face grew increasingly serious. Noticing her deceleration, Mu Chen's gaze shifted ahead, and his expression subtly changed. In the distance, the once crimson world was gradually turning dark, and that darkened area resembled a bottomless prison. Within that black hole-like space, a stone throne could faintly be seen. A vague figure sat upon it, emanating an overwhelming aura that gradually spread across the space. Both Mu Chun and Zhan Tai Lu Li halted at the same time, not daring to advance any further. Their gazes were fixed intently on the blurry figure sitting upon the stone throne. After waiting for thousands of years, someone has finally come. A hoarse, ancient voice echoed from the dark area. The darkness rippled slightly, and the vague figure on the stone throne slowly raised his head. It was a face deeply etched with the marks of time. His eyes appeared hollow, but when those hollow eyes met Mu Chun and Zhan Tai Lu Li, a glimmer of light seemed to awaken in them. I am the Heavenly Formation Emperor. You too managed to pass through my 4-spirit battle formation, so you must possess the talent for battle intent. My mental will is about to fade, and my legacy will be passed on to those destined to receive it. The vague figure's voice was raspy. His strength seemed to be waning as he weakly waved his hand. Come forward. Upon hearing this, Mu Chun and Zhan Tai Lu Li exchanged glances, their eyes flashing slightly. Yet, surprisingly, neither of them moved, continuing to stare at the Heavenly Formation Emperor without a word. The figure, seeing that Mu Chun and Zhan Tai Lu Li made no move, and not seeing the expected joy at the prospect of receiving the inheritance, seemed to pause. His already stiff face tightened, but he didn't speak further. He merely leaned back against the stone throne, his body becoming increasingly limp, as if his mental will were about to completely dissipate. Yet Mu Chun and Zhan Tai Lu Li remained still. The figure did not move either, and once again, the world around them fell into a deathly silence, an eerie and oppressive atmosphere enveloping the area. The silence lasted for 10 minutes, 20 minutes. Zhan Tai Lu Li's beautiful eyes narrowed as she looked at Mu Chun, who subtly shook his head. With no other choice, she suppressed the urgency in her heart. As time passed again, the figure on the stone throne, whose hollow eyes had been closed in a lifeless manner, suddenly snapped them open. Evil light surged from his eyes, and his face twisted into an expression of malice. His sharp voice, laced with fury, echoed loudly. You two little brats really can endure. Hearing his voice, Mu Chun and Zhan Tai Lu Li breathed a sigh of relief. Zhan Tai Lu Li, who was standing nearby, couldn't help but chuckle lightly when she heard that. She shot Mu Chun a sideways glance, her beautiful eyes filled with amusement. The being in front of them, an evil spirit capable of invading the Heavenly Formation Emperor's body, was now being reduced to a wild child, in Mu Chen's words. The Heavenly Formation Emperor glared at Mu Chun with a chilling, sinister gaze. His stiff, skeletal face twitched as he coldly spoke. A mere 4th-grade supreme brat. In my eyes, you're no better than an ant. Yet you dare to act so arrogantly in front of me. Mu Chun remained calm, saying, If you really had the ability, you would have dealt with me long ago. Do you really think you need to waste time talking to me? The Heavenly Formation Emperor stared at Mu Chun with an eerie look, then sneered. You're a cautious one, huh? Well, if you're planning to drag this out, go ahead. I've endured countless years. Do you think a little more time matters? If you want that guy's inheritance, you'll have to deal with me first. Without that, you're just dreaming. Mu Chun ignored him and turned to Zhan Tai Lu Li, asking, Where is the battle formation left by the Heavenly Formation Emperor? It was clear that the Heavenly Formation Emperor had already been possessed by the evil spirit. Though Mu Chen wasn't sure how much power he still had left, he knew he couldn't just recklessly step into that dark area. To defeat the spirit, they could only rely on the battle formation left behind by the Heavenly Formation Emperor. Zhantai Lu Li, upon hearing the question, swept her gaze across the surroundings, scrutinizing the area. After a moment, her brow furrowed slightly because she couldn't find any traces of the battle formation. Could it have been destroyed? Zhantai Lu Li mused with a frown, but then quickly dismissed the thought. If the battle formation had been destroyed, the evil spirit wouldn't have been using deceptive tactics. It would have just obliterated them directly. Zhantai Lu Li's beautiful eyes flickered as she suddenly looked toward the dark area. With a wave of her jade hand, spiritual energy surged, creating a gust of wind that swept through the area. The black mist surrounding the dark zone began to dissipate. As the black mist faded, the scene below was revealed to Mu Chen and Zhantai Lu Li. Their eyes immediately locked onto it, both surprised. Under the dark area, a massive army of about 10,000 soldiers stood. However, these soldiers seemed to be made of statues. Their bodies were covered in black stone-like spots, standing still, but a faint, chilling aura of slaughter filled the air, lingering even after millennia. What a powerful army! Zhantai Lu Li whispered in admiration. They're not statues, Mu Chen replied with a serious expression. He noticed that although the soldiers looked like stone carvings, their faces weren't hollow. Instead, there was some emotion present. This army is probably the Heavenly Formation Emperor's royal guard, his strongest force. When he was invaded by the evil spirit, they activated their spiritual energy and petrified themselves to form the battle formation, trying to suppress the evil spirit within him. Zhantai Lu Li explained with a sigh. If they had been part of the Force Spirit's battle formation earlier, even though the power of the formation has weakened over time, we wouldn't have been able to break through. Mu Chen nodded, his gaze fixed on the stone army. Suddenly, his eyes widened as he noticed thousands of gray lights shooting out from the stone army's heads. These gray rays cut through the dark area, eventually converging beneath the Heavenly Formation Emperor's stone throne. It seemed that these gray rays were the reason the Heavenly Formation Emperor couldn't leave the dark area. Seeing that Zhantai Lu Li had uncovered this stone army hidden within the dark region, the Heavenly Formation Emperor's skeletal face changed slightly. His sinister eyes began to grow more ferocious. You two little brats think you can activate the battle formation left by that guy? The Heavenly Formation Emperor sneered, his voice filled with mockery. With their current strength, if it were in his prime, Mu Chen and Zhantai Lu Li would have been nothing more than ants to him. So, he didn't consider them a threat. Miss Zhantai, I think the next step is up to you, Mu Chen said with a smile, turning to Zhantai Lu Li. Zhantai Lu Li nodded slightly, and with a graceful motion of her jade hand, a flash of light appeared. A rough stone seal materialized in her hand. The stone seal was no larger than the size of a palm, but strange patterns were faintly visible on it. As Mu Chen observed, when Zhantai Lu Li took out the stone seal, it seemed that a tremor came from the stone army below the dark area. Mu King, this stone seal can activate this stone army, but activating it requires a massive amount of spiritual energy. I might not be able to do it alone, so I hope you can assist me, Zhantai Lu Li said with a graceful smile. Mu Chen gave Zhantai Lu Li a deep glance. This woman was cautious, clearly concerned that after exhausting her immense spiritual energy, she would be unable to compete with him, which was why she proposed that they both contribute their power. Mu Chen had no objections to this. The most important task now was to deal with the Heavenly Formation Emperor. Nodding, he extended his hand. The stone seal hovered between their palms. In the next moment, overwhelming spiritual energy surged from both of their hands, rapidly infusing the ancient stone seal. Buzz. As their spiritual energy poured in continuously, the stone seal began to hum and vibrate, the faint battle runes on it gradually brightening. Moreover, as the stone seal grew brighter, the eyes of the stone army, below the dark area, resembling stone statues, which had been closed for thousands of years, slowly began to open. On the stone throne, the Heavenly Formation Emperor's expression changed dramatically in an instant. Buzz. Under the dark area, the massive stone army, resembling stone soldiers, began to awaken. As the light from the stone seal flared between Mu Chun and Zhan Tai Lu Li's palms, the tightly shut eyes that had been closed for millennia gradually opened. Boom. At the moment their eyes opened, the entire crimson world seemed to tremble. An indescribable and terrifying battle intent surged like a tidal wave, spreading across the realm. This battle intent was sharp as a spear, seemingly capable of piercing the very heavens. Its sharpness far surpassed any army Mu Chun had encountered before. From his expectations, when this army was at its peak, no power below the Earth Supreme could contend with them. If this army were combined with the Heavenly Formation Emperor's battle formation, even Earth Supremes and other super-strong individuals could be challenged head-on. The mere 10,000 stone soldiers were far beyond the reach of even the million-strong 9 Nether Guard. The disparity between the two sides was mind-boggling. As the 10,000 stone soldiers were activated by Mu Chun and Zhan Tai Lu Li, the face of the Heavenly Formation Emperor on the stone throne twisted in anger. His hollow eyes flared with murderous intent as he glared at the two of them, as if he wanted to tear them apart. "You two little brats," the Heavenly Formation Emperor roared, suddenly rising from the stone throne. Black light surged from his body, and his form turned into a streak of darkness, shooting forward. Whoosh! However, just as his body shot out of the 100-jong radius of the stone throne, a sound like clinking chains rang out beneath him, and his forward momentum came to an abrupt halt. The immense force caused his body to stumble. Mu Chun and Zhan Tai Lu Li looked on. They saw 4 gray chains wrapped around the Heavenly Formation Emperor's limbs. These chains were a dark, ashen color, covered in battle runes. Originally dim, these runes began to glow as the stone army below awakened. As the battle runes on the chains brightened, the chains slowly began to pull the Heavenly Formation Emperor back toward the stone throne. At the same time, the stone throne began to shed stone dust, revealing the complex battle runes inscribed on it, which also began to glow gradually. "You damn bastard. After dying for thousands of years, you still think you can trap me?" The Heavenly Formation Emperor howled in fury, his face contorted. He threw his head back and let out a shrill scream, causing a torrent of black gas to explode from his body. The black gas was thick and sticky, resembling ink, and wherever it passed, the very space itself was corroded and shattered. From within the sticky black gas emanated an ominous, evil aura. Under the Heavenly Formation Emperor's desperate counterattack, the force pulling the battle rune chains was temporarily resisted. As the battle runes on the chains were corroded, the Heavenly Formation Emperor staggered step by step, struggling to move towards the dark area. His hollow and ferocious gaze was locked on Mu Chun and Zhan Tai Lu Li, with a murderous glint that clearly indicated he intended to tear them to pieces. Mu Chun and Zhan Tai Lu Li were both startled to see how resilient this enemy was, their expressions changing. "Mu King, stop holding back. Use all your spiritual energy, or else once that Heavenly Formation Emperor breaks through the suppression area of the battle formation, the formation will be useless." Zhan Tai Lu Li urged anxiously. Mu Chun nodded gravely. Although he didn't fully trust Zhan Tai Lu Li, he knew that if the Heavenly Formation Emperor truly broke out of the suppression zone, neither he nor Zhan Tai Lu Li would be able to escape. Mu Chun spun his palm sharply, then slapped it horizontally. Immediately, his spiritual energy surged out like a tidal wave, flooding towards the stone seal without reservation. Beside him, Zhan Tai Lu Li also dared not hold back. Her spiritual energy surged as she began to pour it into the stone seal. Buzz. As both of them pushed their spiritual energy to the limit, the stone seal trembled more rapidly, and the light it emitted grew brighter and more dazzling. Roar. As the stone seal shifted, the stone army seemed to be energized as well, letting out a deep, thunderous roar. The sound was perfectly synchronized, and with a single roar, the heavens and earth trembled violently. Boom, boom. An overwhelming surge of battle intent roared out from their bodies, shaking the heavens and earth. The beams of light that had originally shot out from them rapidly expanded, eventually turning into countless gray beams of light. The scene looked truly spectacular. The beam streaked across the sky and finally entered the dark region above, pouring into the stone throne. Immediately, the 4 battle rune chains binding the Heavenly Formation Emperor grew stronger and more solid. Clang! The chains rattled, trembling slightly as they slowly dragged the Heavenly Formation Emperor back towards the stone throne. Bastard! The Heavenly Formation Emperor roared in fury, his blood-red eyes glaring at Chen and Zhantai Luli. He shouted, "Today, I will crush your bones and scatter your ashes." Bang! With his roar, black liquid began to flow from his eyes. The liquid seemed to possess life as it slowly squirmed across his face, eventually forming a strange black symbol. The symbol was eerie and malevolent, resembling a crying ghost face, and combined with the Heavenly Formation Emperor's twisted expression, it made him look terrifying. Clang! As the evil symbol appeared, the Heavenly Formation Emperor's power surged wildly. He forcibly lifted his feet and continued walking through the void, heading towards the dark region. Chen and Zhantai Luli gritted their teeth and once again urged their spiritual energy. Boom! Boom! A tremendous wave of energy spread out in the space. Chen and Zhantai Luli dared not relax for a moment, giving their all. The Heavenly Formation Emperor clearly wasn't going to give up such a chance to break free. He had been sealed for thousands of years, and if not for the power of the Heavenly Formation Emperor's physical body, he would have long been dissipated. But even so, if he continued to be suppressed, he would turn to ashes. Therefore, this was his final opportunity to break free, and he could not afford to miss it. Thus, the Heavenly Formation Emperor went all out, activating all his power to resist the vast battle intent pouring from the stone army below. His eyes were fixed on Chen and Zhantai Luli. With a grimacing voice, he sneered, "2 insignificant ants. I don't believe your puny spiritual energy can last much longer." He was cunning, knowing that Chen and Zhantai Luli's strength was limited. Even with the power of the stone seal, the energy consumption to activate the stone army was immense, so the 2 of them couldn't hold on for long. Once they could no longer sustain it, the stone army, which had petrified itself to serve as part of the battle formation, would also weaken, and at that point, it would be impossible to stop him. Hearing his voice, Chen and Zhantai Luli felt a sinking sensation in their hearts. They knew their situation all too well. As the Heavenly Formation Emperor, if the 2 of you want to obtain that guy's inheritance, there's really no need for us to go down the path of mutual destruction. Just release me, and I swear I'll hand over the inheritance. But after all, only one person can receive this inheritance. So, who among you 2 wants it? The Heavenly Formation Emperor suddenly smiled, and his ferocious voice softened slightly. Chen and Zhantai Luli exchanged a glance, and then Chen chuckled lightly. There's no need to resort to such a clumsy attempt to sow discord. A demon like you has no sense of honor. If we let you out, the first thing you do is tear us apart. Zhantai Luli also let out a soft laugh and said, King is right. I completely agree. Seeing that his attempt at sowing discord was useless and instead had only earned sarcastic mockery from the 2, the Heavenly Formation Emperor's face twisted into an even more grotesque expression. He cast a cold, sinister glance at the 2 and ceased speaking. Instead, he desperately urged the thick black energy around him, fiercely corroding the battle rune chains. It was as if a tug of war had begun between the 2 sides, a deadlock. Zhantai Luli looked at the stalemate and gently bit her silver teeth. King, this can't go on. We must force him back to the stone throne before we can fully activate the battle formation. Only then can we wipe out the evil spirit and awaken the remnants of the Heavenly Formation Emperor's consciousness. That's the only way to obtain the inheritance. You have a plan? Chen's brows furrowed deeply. He understood that if this situation dragged on, it would be extremely disadvantageous to them. But apart from that, it seemed there was no other way. Zhantai Luli was silent for a moment before speaking. I can trigger the stone seal's power to explode in a very short time. If someone can launch a direct assault on him and divert his attention from the battle rune chains, we can work together and drag him back to the stone throne. Chen's brow furrowed even more as he heard this. He turned to look at Zhantai Luli. From what she was saying, someone would have to face the Heavenly Formation Emperor head-on. Given their current strength, that would undoubtedly be an extremely dangerous move. They might be wiped out by the Heavenly Formation Emperor in an instant. Could this be the scene Zhang Tai Luli wanted to see? Under Mu Chen's slightly flickering gaze, Zhang Tai Luli raised her graceful face and met his gaze directly. There was no sign of guilt or hesitation in her eyes. Zhang Tai Luli spoke calmly. I'm suggesting this plan because of the situation we're in. If Mu King thinks I'm trying to harm you in secret, then just forget I said anything. Mu Chen stared at her water-like, clear eyes for a moment. Finally, he took a deep breath and then turned his gaze toward the dark area, speaking in a calm voice. I'll trust you this once. Hearing Mu Chen's calm reply, Zhang Tai Luli's body slightly trembled. She looked at him with a complex expression, fully aware of how dangerous this was. If she played her cards right, Mu Chen could end up trapped in a deadly situation. Yet, he still chose to trust her. Although she had gained Mu Chen's and many others' trust before through schemes, this time it was different. Mu Chen knew the risks and her cunning nature, yet he still chose to believe her. Looking at Mu Chen's handsome and youthful face, Zhang Tai Luli bit her red lip and then nodded lightly. Then please be careful, Mu King. After reaching a decision with Zhang Tai Luli, Mu Chen didn't hesitate further. He gave her a glance, but didn't say anything else. Instead, he turned and shot straight into the air. He was heading directly for the dark region, where the Heavenly Formation Emperor was engaged in a tug-of-war with the battle rune chains, struggling to break free and escape the bounds of the battle formation. As soon as the Heavenly Formation Emperor saw Mu Chen daring to approach, a ferocious light appeared in its eyes. It licked its lips, its face twisted with murderous intent. You little brat, you're really asking for death. The Heavenly Formation Emperor laughed wildly, then raised its hand sharply. Immediately, the viscous black energy surrounding it erupted violently like a dark, oppressive smoke, rushing toward Mu Chen and engulfing him. Mu Chen saw the Heavenly Formation Emperor's attack coming and furrowed his brows. However, he did not take a defensive stance. Instead, with a sudden tremor behind him, a pair of enormous purple-golden phoenix wings spread out. With a powerful flap, his figure shot backward with a whoosh, speeding away. After using the phoenix wings formed by the true phoenix mark, Mu Chen's speed had clearly reached an astonishing level. This speed was something even the peak powerhouses of the 5th grade Supreme could not compare to. Though the ominous black smoke of the wolf-like fire was fierce, it was never able to catch up to Mu Chen. In fact, as it chased, the black gas gradually grew thinner. This was because the power contained within it was rapidly being consumed. Mu Chen noticed this, and his eyes flickered slightly. It seemed that in this dark region, the Heavenly Formation Emperor's power was being greatly suppressed. Even attacks breaking through its body were continually weakened, likely due to being trapped in the battle formation. It appeared that with the suppression of the battle formation, it would not be impossible for him to hold back some of the Heavenly Formation Emperor's strength. Turns out you're just a little rat who likes to scurry away. The Heavenly Formation Emperor saw Mu Chen's incredible speed and was slightly surprised. However, it soon gave a sinister smile, extending its withered, pale fingers and suddenly pointed into the air. Since you like to run so much, I'll let you run as much as you want. Boom. As it pointed, the thick black gas around it began to churn violently. It then transformed into 5 enormous black, demonic snakes, each nearly 100 feet long. These snakes, covered in scales and looking hideous, emitted a strong corrosive stench. As they slithered, they twisted the very space around them. Hiss! The 5 black demonic snakes let out a screech, then tore through the void with a swish, immediately surrounding Mu Chen, sweeping toward him. Mu Chen's expression changed when he saw the 5 black demonic snakes. He could sense the deadly aura from them. Although the Heavenly Formation Emperor had been suppressed within the battle formation for thousands of years, and its strength was not even half of its peak, it still loomed like an unmovable mountain to Mu Chen. If not for the fact that most of its power was still focused on fighting the Stone Army, it could probably destroy Mu Chen in the blink of an eye. Even so, now that it was beginning to use its full strength, it was still a threat that could be fatal to Mu Chen. Whoosh! Mu Chen's wings suddenly vibrated, pushing his speed to the limit. His figure left afterimages in the air, accompanied by the sharp sound of wind cutting through the air. He had already realized that as long as the Heavenly Formation Emperor's power remained within the battle formation's range, it would be continuously suppressed and consumed. Therefore, Chen just needed to keep circling. The more he dodged, the weaker the attacks would become. When they were weak enough for him to handle, he could strike back and crush it. Chen's strategy was correct, but he had slightly underestimated the ferocity of this Heavenly Formation Emperor's attack. The 5 black demonic snakes moved with an unexpected speed, as if they could pierce through the void. In just a few breaths, they came from all directions, trying to intercept him. Boom! The space to Chen's right shattered first, and one of the black demonic snakes shot out. Its hideous tail, sharp as a magic spear, appeared right in front of Chen and thrust straight for his heart. Chen's body, which had been charging forward, suddenly halted. His mind stirred, and golden light erupted from his body. The dragon and phoenix golden armor appeared, radiating an indestructible aura. Chen crossed his arms in front of him, and the golden light spread, forming a golden shield that allowed the snake's tail to crash into it. Clang! The two forces collided with a loud crash, sending sparks flying. The sound of metal striking metal echoed, and the space around the point of contact vibrated with visible ripples. Whoosh! Chen's figure was sent flying back several hundred feet. On his golden arm guards, a deep dent appeared, and a stinging pain spread across his arms, causing Chen to inwardly alarm himself. This was just the force of a single strike from the black demonic snake's tail, and it was already this strong. However, with the recoil from the collision, Chen managed to retreat out of the snake's attack range. The speed was too swift, and even though Chen had the phoenix wings to boost his speed, he still couldn't avoid the attack in time. Almost there. Chen's eyes flickered rapidly as he could feel that after the delay, the power on the black chi demon snake had grown less terrifying compared to when it first attacked. Moreover, he no longer had much time to evade. Boom! With this thought, Chen hesitated for no more than a moment. His mind moved, and a surge of vast spiritual energy erupted from his body like a storm. As the spiritual light spread, a colossal shadow appeared. Behind that shadow was a golden blazing sun floating, resembling a great Buddha. The powerful spiritual energy fluctuations spread outward. It was the great sun indestructible body. 3 solar powers. Chen formed hand seals, and within the great sun indestructible body, 3 golden suns slowly rose. Eventually, they exploded with a loud bang, and the golden light poured out like molten gold, making the great sun indestructible body shine even more brilliantly. Boom! The enormous palm of the great sun indestructible body swung down, and the condensed golden light transformed into golden crystals on its arm. The force behind that strike was enough to shatter mountains. Bang! The giant palm covered in golden crystal collided fiercely with the incoming black chi demon snake. In that instant of impact, space trembled, and a violent shockwave spread out. The massive form of the great sun indestructible body was sent flying backward by the impact. Its entire palm shattered into light points, dissipating into the air. However, although the great sun indestructible body paid the price of losing a palm, the black chi demon snake was also shattered and turned into a sea of black light. Inside the great sun indestructible body, Chen wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. His expression grew extremely serious. For that previous attack, he had unleashed the full force of the great sun indestructible body. Yet, even so, his palm was shattered, and he was still affected by the shockwave. After paying such a price, he had only destroyed 1 black chi demon snake. And now, there were still 4 more black chi demon snakes coming through space, surrounding him and forcing him into a corner. Once the Heavenly Formation Emperor truly made a move, Chen was forced into an extremely dire situation. The difference between the two sides was evident. Boom! As Chen's expression grew grim, the space around him shifted, and the 4 black chi demon snakes swept through the air, ferociously closing in on him. The pressure was immense. You grow weaker the longer you fight, but I don't believe you can kill me here. With danger closing in, Chen didn't show any fear. Instead, a fierce light glimmered in his eyes. In the next moment, the other palm of the Great Sun indestructible body clenched. The Great Xun'er demon pillar, carrying a murderous aura, appeared. The three golden suns inside his body shone even brighter. Clearly, Chen had pushed his power to the utmost limit. Boom! The giant foot of the Great Sun indestructible body stomped down, and it was the first to charge forward. The Great Xun'er demon pillar, carrying an overwhelming aura, directly enveloped one of the black chi demon snakes. A fierce battle erupted in the area. Every time Chen collided with the black chi demon snake, cracks appeared on the Great Sun indestructible body's vast form. Even his real body was affected, and the blood at the corner of his mouth grew thicker. However, while Chen struggled under the brutal assaults, the four black chi demon snakes also paid a heavy price. Each time the Great Xun'er demon pillar struck, it continuously shattered their thick black chi. Boom! When the Great Xun'er demon pillar once again descended with overwhelming spiritual energy, the final black chi demon snake could no longer hold up. With a shriek, it shattered. However, as it broke apart, its tail lashed viciously across the chest of the Great Sun indestructible body. Bang! The already cracked Great Sun indestructible body could no longer withstand the impact, exploding into pieces. As the Great Sun indestructible body shattered, Chen's figure was sent flying backward in a disheveled state. A mouthful of blood spurted from his mouth. His face turned pale, and his body flew back for 1,000 feet before he managed to stabilize himself. In the deeper area of the dark zone, when the 5 black chi demon snakes were finally shattered, the Heavenly Formation Emperor, who had been engaging with the battle-marked chains, noticed the change. His dark, cold gaze turned once again toward Chen. Such an attack can even erase a 5th-grade Supreme. You've got my interest. The Heavenly Formation Emperor showed a sinister grin at Chen. The ghost face runes on his withered face seemed to begin writhing, and upon seeing this expression, Chen's face immediately changed, for he sensed an extremely terrifying wave of danger. Boom! The ghost face runes on the Heavenly Formation Emperor's face suddenly split apart. Half of the runes transformed into a beam of black light, shooting straight toward Chen. Seeing this, Chen didn't hesitate for a moment. He immediately surged his speed to the limit, retreating explosively. His face turned slightly pale as he thought, is Zhantai Luli not going to make a move? Is she truly trying to use someone else's hand to kill me? If that's the case, even if he had to pay a heavy price, he would cut her down here. At the same time, outside the battle formation, Zhantai Luli's beautiful eyes flickered. She hesitated for a moment, before letting out a soft sigh. Her expression then turned solemn. She bit her jade-like finger, and a drop of crimson blood fell onto the stone seal. Then, her hands moved like lightning to form a seal, and she softly uttered, "Explode." Boom.